how's it going? I'm looking at your assignment and everything's looking really good. I'm happy with how everything's turning out. I'll have a few notes for you, but there are probably things you can address as you go to spline. You can take care of them in Steph if you want, but you're definitely in a good spot where I feel like you can go into spline and things are going to be under control and looking really good. So thank you. It's all looking great. But let's get into some very specific nitty gritty notes. So one of the things that I'm looking at here, I think it's the arrow keys, right, is when this foot goes back into this pose on the contact pose. So I'm looking at this back foot here. This is great, but on the very next pose, I think that foot should kind of pick up off the ground. Play with it, maybe not, maybe it's fine the way you have it, but like when looking at the spacing on how the foot moves, I imagine once you get it into spline, you'll see that, here, let me turn on ghosting for a bunch of frames. All right. Oh my gosh, sorry. There we go. Now's a good time to start looking at the spacing. So like if I'm tracking the front of the foot, it goes from here to here to here, and this is all fairly even how that's spaced out, but then it kind of does a big jump here, to get from here to here. It's just something to keep an eye on when you spline. And then when it goes into this next pose, it like doesn't move at all. So that's maybe why I'm suggesting that you put it in a further back, and maybe it has to be picked up off the ground. And I think that's fine, because when this foot makes contact, there's like enough weight moving forward on that foot. Anyways, small note. Another thing that I'm seeing, and this is another small little detail, but when I look at the screen left hand here, when it hits this back spot here, I love that, from top down, we'd kind of see a curving back around the body, and it's taking that kind of nice arc. But I'm suspecting that once you spline it, this kind of spacing, you're gonna need like some more ease out, ease in frames, kind of at the height of this arc in. Hopefully that makes sense. I think if you watch it play, you'll kind of see what I mean, where it kind of like boonk, it kind of bounces in and out of the body instead of that being just a little softer, that transition. But again, nitpicky notes. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It looks like maybe you have some offset on the head to the chest. When I look at the curves, I really see it. I know you had a note here. I don't want to ignore it, but you don't know how to execute the head and upper body recoil from stepping onto the ground. And it looks like you got a little bit of stuff, and the amount that, when I say stuff, it looks like you have a little bit of rotation up and down in this kind of direction where the chin bounces down. That's kind of a personal choice of how, that kind of speaks to how strong, how muscly and stuff the character is. But if you want to emphasize it a little more, like it's just about drag and overlap. So as the character is coming down, that's when the head would start to tip back slightly, right? Almost like it has inertia and wants to sit. So this should be your tallest pose, kind of here, somewhere in the passing pose. So I wouldn't have the head start. Okay, so how do I want to say this? You kind of want to like delay. You want to delay that movement. So if this is your highest pose, I wouldn't change the direction of the head. How do I illustrate this? So sorry, I'm kind of stumbling over my words a little bit. What I'm trying to do is figure out how to illustrate it. So when the body is going up, you want the head to like be slowing down, going down, rotating down a little bit, right? But at some point, your body, when I say body, I mean your center of gravity, is going to make that change and start heading down. When that body starts heading down, you still want your head to be delayed on matching that kind of motion by a frame or two. Like that way it feels like it's independent from the body and it has its own little inertia. So when the body's going down, the head's going up, right? A little bit as like a drag, you know what I mean? Like it's tending to stay put. And then when the body switches to do this, you want the head to be delayed. So you kind of want the head to still go up and not until a few frames later that it starts going down and kind of catching up with the body. So what you have works for me. I think I'm missing, this is what I'm missing. It's just a little bit of the drag on the head as the body starts to go up. So, you know, if this pose maybe it's this pose where your body's at the lowest, you know, still, it's almost like you're trying to like point the chin at something, you know, so as it, and I can help you, I can show you what I mean probably better on a 3D model in class than I can through Sync Sketch with these drawings. But hopefully the concept works. I won't spend much more time on it, but let me know if I need to talk about that a little bit more. Then there's like again, this is super nitpicky, and we can talk about this more when you get into spline. But when I track the spacing that you have on the left to right motion of like the center of gravity, and maybe this will look different with these control curves turned off, but if you watch it play, you can see there's probably like a tiny little spacing hitch in there. Again, not a big deal. But yeah, I would go to spline and keep working it. I think when you hit the spline button, you're going to have a real easy time. I really am enjoying the spacing on your arm here, where when it comes back, I love this. It kind of has like a zippy feel once it. I really like this spacing of this edge increasing like it is, really gives it that nice feel of acceleration, you know, through that swing. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I really like the observation of that because, you know, the weight of the hand, because these arms are so big and the hand is so big, it really feels appropriate for the physiology of this character. You know what I mean? I will demonstrate how you can use arc tracking tools and stuff in class. So I'm going to switch color because we're on the return, the spacing on the return. And but this is going to be like the process of kind of splining and cleaning up your spline, is like really paying attention to the spacings on all this stuff. But as I track the spacing on this hand, it looks great. So I really like your attention to detail there. And when you watch it play, you really feel that, like, you really feel the nice motion in there. Anyways, great job. Great job. Keep it up. Spline away. I think you're on the home stretch. And we'll take a look at it splined. I'll probably give you another round of notes there. And then we should start thinking about what's next for you, what you want to do. We can do a physical action or activity like a jump or a heavy object throw, or whatever is interesting to you to do. So start thinking about that, but keep pushing forward with this. And yeah, thanks again. Great work.